Hello students, today I will discuss about the positions of nth bright and dark fringes from center of the screen in your double slit experiment. Okay, so in my last two videos I have explained about the coherent sources, the wavefront, the interference, the types of interference and the conditions of constructive and destructive interference. Okay, so here I will discuss about the positions of bright and dark fringes from the center of the screen in Young's double slit experiments. So here suppose these are two slits S1, S2, they are coherent sources and this is the screen. Okay, this was the screen, this is slit and this is screen. Now here suppose this is one light beam, this is another beam, they meet at this point P, this center. So this point may be of maximum intensity or may be of minimum intensity. Mean it may be a bright fringe or dark fringe depending on the path difference. As I have explained earlier in my second video, that in order to get the bright fringes, what happens? The path difference between two waves should be what? Integral multiple of lambda. I have given you for maximum intensity what? Path difference is what? Integral multiple of lambda. And for minimum intensity or to dark fringes, what is the condition? I have given you, that is odd multiple of what? Lambda by 2. So in order to find out whether this position is for bright or dark, you have to find the path difference first. Means path difference between these two. This one you have to find out. So for that, suppose this suppose a position, say we consider yn. This distance, let us take it is capital D, distance between slit and screen, and this distance suppose small d, separation between the two slits. So as this is centered, so this point suppose A, this is B, so this is d by 2, this is also what? D by 2. Okay, now from here you have to find the path difference between these two beam S1P and S2P first. Then after getting the path difference, you can easily find out the conditions, that is the positions of bright and dark fringes. Okay, so first you find the path difference between these two. What is the path difference? Path difference will be what? X is equal to, it is nothing but S2P. Here this is one beam, you see S2P, this is S1P another, so minus S1P. So you have to find out S2P minus S1P. This is the equation 1. So for that you have to know the value of S2P, then the value of what? S1P. Now here you see your S2P square, you can write, you take this triangle, it is S2B square plus your BP square. So here and your S1P square it will be what? S1A square plus AP square. So therefore S2P square minus S1P square, it will be what? Or better you can put the values here. You see what is S2B? S2B is what? D. So D square plus what is BP? BP from here to here, it is yn plus d by 2. So yn plus d by 2. And here S1A, this S1A, it is D. What is AP? AP is here, it will be yn minus d by 2. Yn minus d by 2 whole square. So if you subtract S2P square minus S1P square, d square, this will cancel out. It will be yn plus d by 2 whole square minus yn minus d by 2 whole square. Now here you can apply a minus b, a square minus b square, this is a plus b, a minus b. So S2P minus plus S1P, then S2P minus S1P. Okay. Now here apply a square, a plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square. it is nothing but 4ab. So 4ab, AB means a, b is d by 2. So this is nothing but 2y's yn d. So from here s2p minus s1p, it will be 2yn d by s2p plus s1p. Now here this is suppose equation number 2. Now in physics you always make some assumptions, okay, in order to find out a simple result. Okay, always we make some assumptions. So here also I will make some assumption. What is the assumption? If we consider the point P is very close to the center, okay, in that case what happened? You see, if we consider this point P, suppose, you know, here the center, suppose the point P is very close to center, here suppose this is a point P. In that case, this will be what? This suppose is very close, this center OP point suppose here. So in that case, this will be what? S1P, this will be what? S2P, and this is nothing but D. So point is that if the point P is very close to center as well as the two slits are very close, then what happens? You see, two slits are very close, so this will be now S1, this will be S2, so this is now S1P, this is S2P. So in that case you can consider S1P and S2P equal to what? This distance, that is D. So if we consider the point P is very close to the center as well as the two slits are very close, in that case your S1P, S2P and this distance D will be equal. So this simply assumption, okay, just to find out a simple result we are making these assumptions, okay, these just you have to remember. In fact, in order to derive all these things, because we do not require derivations, we have to remember the final results, okay, just for better understanding I am discussing in details, okay. Now here I am considering that if S2P, if point P is very close, is very close to the center O, and S1 and S2 are also close to each other, then what you can assume, your S1P is equal to S2P is equal to what? D. So here in equation 2, from equation 2 you can write S2P minus S1P is equal to 2y's yn d by d plus d. Now this is nothing but x, okay, this is nothing but x, already these are part difference now, okay. So x is equal to 2y's yn d by 2d, so it is yn d by d. So this is our main equation. So this you have to remember, that is what we get. We got x, the part difference, yn d by d. So this one you have to remember, okay. So derivation part is not important for us, this is not important, this is the important result, okay. This you have to remember, the part difference between these two beam is what? X is equal to yn d by d. Here yn is what? The position between position of the bright or dark fringe, okay. And d is what? The separation between the two slits, and capital D is what? Separation between slit and skin. Just you have to remember this. From this equation we can derive the required thing, okay. So we got the part difference, so this you have to remember here. So what you got? Part difference, x is equal to yn d by d, okay. So this you have to remember. Okay, now let me find out position of nth bright fringe, okay, nth bright fringe from center of screen. So we know we know for nth bright fringe part difference is equal to what? N lambda. I have discussed in my last video. Okay, n lambda. So here n is equal to what? 0, 1, 2, like that. So this is the formula of part difference already I have derived, and this is the condition for what? Constructive interference means to get the bright fringes. So now you can equate these two. So you can equate. So therefore, or you can make it equation 1, and this is suppose equation 2. So you can equate these two. So if we equate 1 and 2, so what we get? It is yn d by d equal to n lambda. So here yn is equal to what? N lambda d by d. So this is the formula for what? Position of nth bright fringe from center of the screen. So this is important formula. This you have to remember here. So here what is n here? N is 0, 1, 2 like this. So here if we put n equal to 0, so y0 will be 0. So y0, 0 means what? It is nothing but the center. Okay, y0, 0 means what? The point P is lying on the center. So this is what? Position of what? Central maximum. Central maximum. Max means maximum intensity. If you put n equal to 1 here, y1 is what? It is lambda d by d. So this is position of first bright. Okay, position of first bright. Then if you put n equal to 2 here, so y2 is what? It is 2 lambda d by d. It is position of second bright, like that, so on. So you see, from this equation you can find the position of nth bright fringe. First bright, second bright, third bright, like any bright fringe you can find the position from these equations. Okay, so this is the position of nth bright fringe. Now let me find out the position of nth dark fringe. Okay, position of nth dark fringe from center of screen. Okay. Now we know for nth dark fringe. Okay, so dark fringe means what? It is a destructive interference. So for nth dark fringe, we know the part difference I have already discussed. It is odd multiple of lambda by 2. 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. Here n equal to what? 1, 2, 3 like that. So now you can equate these two. So this is the formula of part difference already derived. And this is for what? Condition of destructive interference, means for bright dark fringes. You can equate these two. You can equate 1 and 3. So what we got? It is yn d by d. It is 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. So from here you can find out yn. It will be what? 2n minus 1 lambda d by 2d. So this is the position. Okay, this is the position of what? Nth dark fringe. So this is the important formula. This you have to remember to find out position of dark fringes. Okay. Now here if you put n equal to 1, y1 will be what? Lambda d by 2d. So this is the position of first dark fringe. First dark fringe. Okay. If you put n equal to 2, here y2 equal to 3 lambda d by 2d. It is position of second dark fringe, and like that you can find out position of any dark fringe from this formula. Okay, so I have discussed about the position of nth bright and dark fringes. So you have to remember the formula. Okay. So next let me find out the fringe width, the width between any two successive bright or dark fringes. Fringe width. Now what is fringe width? If we see the positions of nth bright and dark, so you will find that for nth bright, what is formula? Y is equal to what? It is n lambda d by d. So here you see, if we put n equal to 0, so y0 already I have given you, that is 0, n equal to 1, y1 will be what? Lambda d by d. N equal to 2, y2 is what? 2 lambda d by d, like that. Similarly, for nth dark, what's the formula? Tell me. It is 2n minus 1 lambda d by 2d. So here if you put n equal to 1, y1 is what? Lambda d by 2d. N equal to 2, y2 will be 3 lambda d by 2d. N equal to 3, y3 will be what? 5 lambda d by 2d, and so on. Now if we find the difference, you see central bright and first bright, what is the difference between these two? You see y1 minus y0, what is the difference? It is lambda d by d. If you find the difference between these two, that is y2 minus y1, what is the difference? You see this minus this, what is the difference? It is also lambda d by d. Similarly, you find the difference between these two, that is second dark and first dark. You find the difference, y2 minus y1, you find the difference, it will be lambda d by d. Similarly, you find the difference between these two, y3 minus y2, it also lambda d by d. So you can say that the separation between any two consecutive bright or any two consecutive dark always remain constant, and that value is what? Lambda d by d. That value is what? Lambda d by d. So this is called what? Fringe width. That is separation between any two consecutive bright or any two consecutive dark always remain constant, and that is called what? Fringe width. So this you have to remember. Okay. So you can say that this is the fringe width. This is the formula of fringe width. That is lambda d by what? D. So this you have to remember. So fringe width is represented by the letter beta. So beta will be what? So beta will be what? Lambda d by d. So this is fringe width. So this you have to remember. This is fringe width. Here lambda is what? Lambda is wavelength of light. D, you know, separation between slit and screen, and small d is what? Separation between the two slit. Now here you can make some points. First point is what? You see beta is what? Proportional to lambda from this equation. That means what? The fringes formed in Young double slit experiment depends on what? Wavelength of light used. And as we know, lambda for violet is less than lambda for red. In the visible, red is of highest wavelength and violet is of lowest wavelength. So therefore, beta is what? For red is greater than beta for violet. That means what? If we use monochromatic light of different colors, this is if we use red light, if we use blue light, if we use green light, you will get fringes of different width. Okay, which will be different because width proportional to what? Lambda. So if you plot a graph between beta and lambda, it will obviously straight line. Okay. Secondly, as we have seen that beta depends on what? Lambda. And we know that lambda depends on what? Medium. When light travels from one medium to another medium, its frequency remains unchanged. The wave, because we know that the property of the wave, that is the frequency of the wave remain unchanged, but its velocity and wavelength changes. So as wavelength change, that means what? If the medium changes, wavelength changes, so obviously beta will change. So you can say that in suppose air, in air, beta is equal to say lambda d by d. In medium, in any medium, say for example, you the Young double slit's whole setup is suppose immersed in a medium, say liquid or other water or like that. In that case, it will be lambda dash d by d. So for air, we can say lambda, and for any medium, we can say lambda dash, because wavelength will change. So lambda dash, and respective it is beta dash. So beta by beta dash, it will be what? Lambda by lambda dash. Now you know refractive index is what? Mu. You know it is C by V. So C is the speed of light in vacuum. You know lambda into frequency. Speed of light in medium, lambda dash into frequency. Frequency never change, okay? So lambda by lambda dash. So here it is mu. So you can say that beta dash is equal to beta by mu. So this is one of the important result, okay? So you can say that if the whole apparatus, Young double slit experiment, whole apparatus is immersed in a medium, then the fringe width becomes 1 by mu times, or it is decreased by a factor of what? Mu. It is beta by mu. So this relation you have to remember, okay? Thirdly, you see, we have this beta is equal to what? Lambda d by d. Now if d is tends to 0, so d tends to 0 means what? The two slits, suppose this S1 and S2. So this distance is d, okay? This is d. Now d0 means what? The two slits are very close. Suppose the two slits are infinitely close each other. This d tends to 0. In that case, what happens? Is beta is becomes what? Infinity. That means if we if the two slits are placed very close to each other, infinitely close to each other, that means separation between them say becomes 0 and extremely small. In that case, your beta tends to infinite means what? The fringes will be at infinite distance apart. So it cannot be visible. You cannot see the fringes because it cannot be taken on the screen because width is infinite, okay? So in that case, you can say that fringes will not be visible. Okay, so this point you have to remember. Another, you see beta, you know lambda d by d. So here beta proportional to d. So the d is the distance between the separation between the slit and skin. This is d. So here if we plot a graph between beta and d, it will be basically a straight line. Another point, so this is a very important point, okay? You may get questions directly from this formula, okay? So remember these relations as well as these points. Now you see, so in a Young double slit experiment, if we use monochromatic light, that means suppose if you are using blue light, your bright fringes are of blue and dark fringes will be what? Dark, or it is faint blue. If you use red light, then bright fringes are of what? Red color, and dark fringes are maybe dark or it is faint red. But if we use white light, then what happens? White is what? Is composed of 7 colors. So if we use white light in Young double slit experiment, then what will happen? In that case, the whole fringe setup will be what? Colored. Because you know beta, that depends on what? Lambda, as well as the position of bright and dark. For bright, for bright, part difference will be what? N lambda. For dark, part difference will be what? 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. So this is a wavelength, okay? This is a wavelength. So what I am saying, that if we use white light in Young's double slit experiment instead of monochromatic, then what will happen? The whole fringe setup will be what? Colored. But all the colors will not be visible. Means all the 7 colors will not be visible. Those colors which satisfy the condition of a constructive interference will be visible as a bright fringe. And those colors which satisfy the condition of a destructive interference will be what? Missing. So you will miss some of the colors. Some colors will be missed. So those color who satisfy this condition means for dark, that will be missing. Missing means what? They are satisfying condition of destructive interference. And some colors appears that satisfying the condition of what? Constructive interference. Okay. But the central maximum remains as what? White. Because the position of central maximum, it does not depend on what? Lambda. Because here x you see n lambda. For central maximum n equal to 0. So x equal to what? It is 0. Part difference is 0 here. So that's why your central maximum remains as white. But other fringes, bright fringes will be colored. And some colors will be missing. Those which are satisfying dark or destructive interference. Okay. So this is also one of the most important point you have to remember. What is that? If we use white light in Young's double slit experiment instead of monochromatic light, then what happens? The fringe setup will be what? The fringes will be what? Colored. Those fringes which satisfy the condition of what? Constructive interference will appear as bright fringe, and those which satisfy the condition of destructive interference will be missing. Okay. But your central maximum remain as white. Okay. So you can see that if we use white light instead of monochromatic light, the fringe setup will be colored, but the central maximum remains as white. Okay. Those color which satisfy the condition of constructive interference will appear as bright fringe, and those color which satisfy the condition of destructive interference will be missing. Okay, will be missing. So this one you have to just remember this point. Okay. Another point that remember, relation between, this is very important point in fact, relation between fringe with number of fringes and length of screen. Length of the screen. Okay, this is very important relation. So this suppose a screen. Say this length is what? Say L. These are the fringes. Just assume these are the fringes. These are the fringes. These are fringes. So this is fringe width is what? Beta. And number of fringes suppose N. So here, what is the relation? Simple in fact. This is the length of the fringe, length of the screen, the size of the screen, fringe width, this number of fringe. So you can say that length of the screen is equal to number of fringe into what? Beta. What is you have to remember? Length of the screen is equal to what? Number of fringe into what? Beta. Beta is the width of each fringe. So this relation you have to remember. Okay. So this is all about your fringe width. Okay. So today I have discussed the positions of nth bright and dark fringe. Then I have derived the expression for fringe width. Okay. So now let me give you one question. a wavelength, a monochromatic wave of light having wavelength 6000 Armstrong is used in Young's double slit experiment, and 12 number of fringes are formed. Find the number of fringes formed in the same screen if wavelength of light is reduced to say 3000 Armstrong. So here you see a monochromatic wave of light having wavelength 6000 Armstrong is used in Young double slit experiment and 12 number of fringes are formed. Find the number of fringes formed in the same screen if the wavelength of light is reduced to 3000 Armstrong. The lambda changes, you have to find the number of fringe. So already I have given you that relation between the length of the screen and the number of fringes. So it is L is equal to n into beta. So here you have to find the number of fringes same length of the screen. So here length of the screen remains same. So simply you can write n1 beta 1 is equal to n2 beta 2. So beta 1 is what? Lambda 1 d by d. It is lambda 2 d by d. So you can write n1 lambda 1, n2 lambda 2. So this relation you can use to solve these questions. Okay. So here n1 is what? 12, lambda 1 6000, n2 you have to find out, it is 3000. So from here n2 will be what? It is 24. So like that you can find out the number of fringes if wavelength of light is changed. Okay. So okay, this is all about your position of nth bright and dark fringes from center of the screen, and of course I discussed about the fringe width. So let me summarize today's class. So at the beginning I have derived the expression for what? Path difference between the two waves, and that path difference we got, it is yn d by d. So this formula, important formula you have to remember. Secondly, I have derived the position of nth bright and nth dark. For dark it is yn 2n minus 1 lambda d by 2d. Here n is equal to 1, 2, 3 like that. Then I have derived position of nth bright. For nth bright, yn is equal to n lambda d by d. Here n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. So here you have to careful. For dark, n start from what? 1. For bright, n start from 0. 0 means central bright. Okay, central dark is not possible. Central bright. Then fringe width, it is beta lambda d by d. So this is all about today's class. Okay. So thank you. Tomorrow I will discuss about what will change if in the path of any one of the beam if we place a transparent sheet. Okay. I will see that there will be change in the path difference. So there will be change in the positions. It is called fringe shift. In my next class, I will discuss about the fringe shift. Okay. Thank you.